My name is Nick Ferguson. I work for ClujIT Services, which is a small and medium enterprise, and we deal a lot with cloud services. And we're involved in the SLA-Ready project, which I'll tell you a little bit about in a little while. So what we're seeing is that today we're at a key era of innovation with more and more services coming online, which are improving the way that we do business, improving the way we look at research, and improving our everyday lives, from the health app, which tells us how far and how fast we've been running, to the app which helps us to get to the center this morning. So there's a lot of innovation, and cloud computing is at the center of this. Cloud computing is a key enabler for emerging technologies like Internet of Things and data science. And more businesses are realizing the benefits that this can bring them in terms of agility and the ability to change business plans as circumstances change. And we're seeing this across the board. Across Europe, we're seeing more and more companies adopting cloud services. In the UK, we have almost 50% of companies now using the cloud. In a recent survey by Intel, they asked companies, when would you be moving your whole infrastructure to the cloud? And the majority of people said 16 months, which is a remarkable short space of time, and shows the real intent that businesses have to move to the cloud. And it's the same in Romania. Although a little slower adoption rates than the rest of Europe, we're now seeing a real intention of companies to move to the cloud. Here in Cluj, the IT services take up a lot of the local economy, and almost 100% of companies are using cloud services, while all large companies are predicted to be using cloud by 2017. So there's a real move to the cloud. However, as Andre rightly said, there are some issues or barriers, shall we say, which are preventing people moving to the cloud. There's high-profile stories in the media about security and privacy issues, which are causing people to think twice. And knowledge is key here. As I said, I work for a small company, and we decided we'd like to look more into the benefits of cloud and move some of the services that we provide to our clients to the cloud. We understood the benefits, but we didn't understand the full picture of what it actually entailed. So we asked our Chief Technology Officer and his team to look at some of the service level agreements that cloud providers give out and make available on their websites. And we asked them to have a look to decide what services were best for us. Now, this wasn't quite as easy as it seems. Firstly, our team had difficulty in comparing SLAs. Some providers provided very detailed SLAs. Some providers provided very, very short documents. If you wanted to look at different performance metrics, different types of metrics were used. So it was very difficult to actually compare two SLAs. Another issue was that there was a lack of clarity over pricing. So how much do you actually pay and what do you get for your money? And this wasn't very clear at all. So there was a real lack of standards across the board. Another issue was these documents were using a lot of complex legal terminology. So the company I work for, we're based in Italy, and our team are Italian, and a lot of these documents were in English. So there was a lot of uncertainty caused by this, and uncertainty for me as a mother tongue trying to understand the legal terminology used. So the result is that despite the fact that cloud service level agreements are a key component of cloud services, they're one of the least understood areas. This causes a lack of trust and can slow down cloud adoption. So this is a great quote I saw in a conference a few months ago. Who do you go to when you want to use cloud services? Well, you'll not need the IT guy anymore. You need an expert in SLAs so they can understand what you're signing up for. And this is where SLA-Ready comes in. So what is SLA-Ready? Well, we're a project. We're funded by the European Commission under the Horizon 2020 program, and we're made up of a consortium of partners. We have legal expertise from Arthur's Legal, and you'll be hearing from Janneke in a moment. We have cloud security experts in the Cloud Security Alliance, and we have technical experts from the Technical University of Darmstadt in Germany, and ourselves as an SME operating in the cloud. And our objective is to provide a common reference model for SLAs. So a document which can identify key elements that should be included in any SLA. We target both customers, so educating customers to empower them to make the right decisions, and providers in giving them a guide, if you like, so that it's easier for them to write their own service level agreement. So where does the common reference model come from? Well, it comes from extensive analysis of the current state of practice, industry best practices, what's happening in the standard in terms of standards, and also an analysis of user requirements based on technical, security, legal and governance, and socioeconomic factors. And what we came up with were 30 essential elements which should be included in a cloud service level agreement. So here they are, there's 30 of them, so that's quite a lot. Now, not all of them are important to everybody, but they range greatly from general issues such as how easy it is to find the SLA, or does the provider actually have an SLA, to freshness, how often is it updated, and can you find old versions of the SLA online? What type of support do you get? If your service goes down, is there a phone number that you can ring 24/7? Is someone going to be at the end of that telephone? And what happens if it goes down? Do you get your money back, or do you get credit? Also, changes. Can the provider change the contract and not tell you, or do they have to tell you? And how far can these changes go, and what can you do about it? And then issues such as reporting, so finding out about how well the service is running, and service level objectives. Are they met? What are they regarding security and, importantly, data management? So based on the type of service that you would like to use, or the type of service you're providing, this type of information varies. So based on the common reference model, we've provided some services for cloud customers. Firstly, a selection of use cases which help you identify priorities in your service level agreement, and an online tool called the SLA, which I'll take you through now. So the use cases. So the use cases we published, which Janneke will go into in a little more detail later on, they basically cover the full cloud service lifecycle. So from assessing and comparing SLAs to negotiating, if that's possible, to actual operating, so monitoring the services that you're using, right up to the end too, if you want to terminate your contract and get your data back. And we have different types of customer, from private companies to government, and also the type of maturity that the user has. Are they an expert, or are they absolutely totally new to this? So this basically gives you the opportunity to a fast entry to the recommendations that our project give on each of the common reference model elements. It offers priorities for each use case, so that, for example, if you're providing streaming services like Cosmin and his company, then you need to be sure that the performance level of your provider are clear and you're able to monitor them. If you're handling private or personal data of clients, then you need to be sure that data management service level objectives are met, and you have to be clear on what they are. So our second service is something we'll look at later this morning, and I'll ask you all to actually complete this. So, of course, comparing an SLA doesn't take 5 minutes. It takes quite a bit of detailed time if you want to be sure that you know what you're getting. And this is basically a questionnaire. It gives you a question on each Common Reference Model element, and it helps you to identify what are priorities for you, basically. So you go through, you answer the questions. At the end of it, you download your report, and you get a recommendation on what you should expect or what you should be asking about or asking for when you're either negotiating with your provider or when you're simply checking the service level agreement. So basically, these services help to educate you so that you can make the right decision before adopting a cloud service. So our project also helps providers as well. So while we want to educate users, we want to also help providers to know what they're doing. So to offer a kind of template and a set of essential areas that should be included in any service level agreement. So we have an online questionnaire which we ask providers to complete, and this is a first level of self-assessment for them to check their own SLA and decide if these elements are included or not. We'll be publishing the results of these online, and so people can actually go into the repository and see the results from different providers. And this will be sustained beyond the project by the Cloud Security Alliance and their CSA Star Watch initiative. So this is the second of 4 workshops which we're doing as our project comes to an end. We were in Madrid, Janneke and I, a couple of weeks ago, and now we've come to Romania. We go back to Madrid in a couple of weeks, and then we have our final event in Belgium. And all the time we're collaborating with associations such as the Digital SME Alliance and Digital Europe, and engaging with ICT clusters and national trade associations to help promote these services, which are free, they're objective, and they're there to raise awareness, basically. So we have a good morning. We have presentations from Janneke on legal issues. We'll have a couple of panels where we'll invite some people up to talk about their experience as cloud customers and also as cloud providers, because I know a number of you are using cloud services and then selling them on. So we'll be asking questions about that. And we really encourage you to get involved and ask questions, raise points as well, raise your experiences, and have a really productive day. So with that, I'd like to thank you.